abandoned Olympic venues that cost billions to build, sprawling ghost cities in the middle of nowhere, bridges that connect nothing to nowhere. These are the kinds of useless megaprojects we're about to unveil in today's Top 11 Countdown. Megaprojects are large-scale, complex ventures that typically attract a lot of attention and money. They often involve massive infrastructure, cutting-edge technology, and bold promises of economic growth. But what happens when these grand plans don't pan out as intended? That's exactly what we'll be exploring in this video. We've scoured the globe to find the most egregious examples of megaprojects that failed to live up to their hype. Burj Al Babas, Turkey. Imagine a sprawling development filled with hundreds of identical castles, each topped with ornate turrets and balconies. But upon closer inspection, you realize the majestic structures are abandoned, with empty windows and crumbling facades. A true fairy tale turned nightmare. This is the surreal scene at Burj Al Babas in Turkey, our number 11 most useless megaproject in the world. The ambitious development near Istanbul aimed to create a luxury community featuring 732 villas, all designed in the same distinctive French chateau style, with price tags ranging from $370,000 to over $500,000 each. The opulent homes were marketed to wealthy oil executives and foreign investors seeking extravagant vacation properties. Construction on Burj Al Babas began in 2014, with developers touting the project as a lavish retreat complete with Turkish baths, health facilities, and sports amenities. The villas, packed tightly together on a hillside plot, promised picturesque views and a taste of European sophistication in northwest Turkey. However, economic turmoil and shifting market demands brought the grandiose vision to a halt. As oil prices plummeted in the mid-2010s, many prospective buyers backed out of their investments, unable to afford the steep prices amidst financial uncertainty. The Turkish economy also faced instability, with the lira's value fluctuating wildly and inflation rates soaring. By 2018, hundreds of the chateaux remained unsold, and the developers found themselves over $27 million in debt. Construction ground to a standstill, leaving the eerie specter of row upon row of vacant, partially completed mansions looming over the countryside. The uniform structures now sit in various states of decay, with overgrown weeds sprouting between the cracks and stray dogs wandering the empty streets. Burj Al Babas stands as a cautionary tale about the dangers of overly ambitious real estate speculation and the importance of considering market realities. The project's target demographic proved far too narrow, and the cookie-cutter design lacked the authentic charm of real French chateaux. Despite its promise of luxury living, the development now serves as a dystopian ghost town, a symbol of wasted resources and unrealized dreams. As we continue our countdown of the world's most pointless megaprojects, we shift our focus to another ill-fated endeavor half a world away, one that aimed to pierce the clouds with a towering skyscraper, but ultimately never got off the ground. Golden Finance 117, China. Number 10 on our list of the world's most useless megaprojects is Golden Finance 117, an unfinished skyscraper in Tianjin, China that stands as a stark reminder of overambition and economic miscalculation. The planned 600-meter, 1,969 feet tower was set to become one of China's tallest buildings, with a sleek golden exterior and an eye-catching design featuring a diamond-shaped crown at its peak. Construction on Golden Finance 117 began in 2008, led by the Hong Kong-based Golden Properties Holdings. The developers envisioned the skyscraper as a symbol of luxury and prosperity, catering to wealthy elites with high-end office spaces, a 5-star hotel, and exclusive apartments. The building's prime location in the Tianjin Economic Technological Development Area seemed to promise success, as the district had been earmarked for rapid growth and investment. However, the project's target market proved to be a critical misstep. Tianjin, despite its status as a major port city, lacked the concentrated super-rich population that Golden Finance 117 needed to thrive. The developers had overestimated the demand for ultra-luxury properties in the area, failing to align their vision with the realities of the local economy. As construction progressed, the project encountered a series of financial setbacks. The global economic crisis of 2008 dealt a blow to the Chinese real estate market, making it harder for Golden Properties to secure funding and attract tenants. Rising costs and delays further compounded the problems, putting the skyscraper's future in jeopardy. In 2015, with the structure reaching only a third of its planned height, work on Golden Finance 117 ground to a halt. The unfinished tower stood as a ghostly presence on the Tianjin skyline, its naked concrete core and exposed steel beams a far cry from the gleaming golden facade promised in the initial designs. The project's troubles were exacerbated by broader economic shifts in China. The country's real estate market, which had been a key driver of growth, began to cool as the government implemented measures to curb speculative investment and rein in soaring property prices. This changing landscape made it even more challenging for Golden Finance 117 to find its footing. As of 2023, the fate of Golden Finance 117 remains uncertain. The unfinished skyscraper stands silent and empty, a hulking remnant of unrealized ambitions. California City, USA. From the sands of a desert mirage, we now arrive at a city that was meticulously planned but never quite materialized. California City, nestled in the heart of the Mojave Desert, takes the 9th spot on our list of the world's most useless megaprojects. California City was conceived in 1958 as a master-planned metropolis that would rival Los Angeles in size and grandeur. Mendelssohn envisioned a thriving desert oasis, complete with a sprawling street grid, ample parks, and a bustling downtown core. To bring his dream to life, Mendelssohn invested heavily in infrastructure, laying out a vast network of roads, utilities, and public spaces. The city's ambitious master plan included a staggering 185 square miles of land, making it the third largest city by area in California, behind only Los Angeles and San Diego. At the heart of California City, Mendelssohn created a grand central park, spanning over 160 acres. He also developed 2 championship golf courses, hoping to attract wealthy residents and tourists seeking a desert retreat. Billboards and advertisements touted California City as the next great American metropolis, luring potential buyers with promises of a sun-soaked paradise. However, despite Mendelssohn's grand vision and extensive investments, California City failed to live up to its hype. The remote location, scorching desert heat, and lack of nearby job opportunities proved to be major deterrents for potential residents. The city's population grew at a snail's pace, with only a few thousand people calling it home by the 1970s. As decades passed, California City remained largely undeveloped, with miles of empty streets and vacant lots stretching out into the desert. The meticulously planned neighborhoods, designed to house thousands of families, remained barren and lifeless. The Central Park and golf courses, once touted as major attractions, struggled to draw visitors and fell into disrepair. Today, California City serves as a stark reminder of the perils of overambitious urban planning and the importance of considering market demand and livability factors. The city's population hovers around 14,000, a far cry from the hundreds of thousands Mendelssohn had envisioned. Many of the roads and infrastructure laid out in the original master plan remain unused, with tumbleweeds and desert sands reclaiming the empty streets. The city's vast expanse of undeveloped land has found some alternative uses over the years. The California City Police Department utilizes a portion of the area for training exercises, while off-road enthusiasts take advantage of the sprawling desert terrain for recreational activities. However, these niche uses pale in comparison to the grand vision of a thriving metropolis that Mendelssohn had originally planned. California City's story is a cautionary tale about the dangers of overreach and the need for realistic planning in urban development. While Mendelssohn's vision was certainly ambitious, it failed to take into account the practical considerations that make a city livable and attractive to residents. Mirabel Airport, Canada. Mirabel Airport was conceived in the 1960s as a solution to the congestion plaguing Montreal's existing airport, Dorval. Planners envisioned a sprawling, state-of-the-art facility that would accommodate the rapid growth of air travel and cement Montreal's status as a global hub. When it opened in 1975, Mirabel was touted as the airport of the future, boasting an impressive capacity of 50 million passengers per year. However, the airport's grandiose scale proved to be its undoing. Built on a massive plot of land, 39 kilometers, 24 miles, northwest of Montreal, Mirabel was far removed from the city center and lacked efficient transportation links. Passengers faced long, inconvenient journeys to reach the airport, often having to transfer between Dorval and Mirabel to catch connecting flights. As a result, airlines and passengers alike began to favor the more accessible Dorval Airport, leaving Mirabel underutilized. The airport's passenger numbers dwindled over the years, with many airlines opting to consolidate their operations at Dorval. By 2004, Mirabel had ceased all passenger operations, becoming a mere shell of its intended grandeur. The construction of Mirabel Airport came at a staggering cost of $500 million Canadian dollars, equivalent to billions in today's currency. This enormous investment, funded by taxpayers, now sits largely idle, with the airport's vast terminal buildings and expansive runways serving only a fraction of their designed purpose. In a somewhat ironic twist, Mirabel has found new life as a cargo hub and a venue for recreational activities. The airport's long runways and ample space make it well suited for handling freight aircraft, and it has carved out a niche in the cargo industry. Additionally, the airport's grounds have been repurposed for various events and attractions, including go-karting on the unused runways. Despite these alternative uses, Mirabel Airport remains a symbol of overambition and poor planning. The decision to build the airport so far from the city center, without adequate transportation infrastructure, doomed it to underutilization from the start. The project's massive scale and cost, coupled with its inability to fulfill its intended purpose, cement its status as one of the world's most useless megaprojects. Wonderland Eurasia, Turkey, touted as Europe's largest amusement park, Wonderland Eurasia was a grand vision brought to life by an $800 million investment. The park sprawled across a vast expanse of land, promising visitors a world of excitement and adventure with its state-of-the-art rides, themed areas, and immersive attractions. When it opened its gates in March 2019, expectations were high, with investors and local officials anticipating a surge of visitors from across the region. However, the reality of Wonderland Eurasia fell far short of its lofty promises. Almost immediately, visitors began to voice their disappointment with the park's offerings. Many of the rides and attractions were found to be of subpar quality, lacking the thrill and excitement that one would expect from a world-class amusement park. The park's infrastructure also showed signs of poor planning and execution, with reports of malfunctioning equipment, inadequate facilities, and a general lack of attention to detail. As word of the park's shortcomings spread, attendance figures plummeted. Visitors who had eagerly anticipated a day of fun and adventure found themselves wandering through a half-empty park, with many attractions either closed or operating at reduced capacity. The once bustling pathways and queues became eerily quiet, a stark contrast to the lively atmosphere promised in the park's promotional materials. Despite efforts to revive interest through marketing campaigns and special events, Wonderland Eurasia struggled to attract the crowds needed to sustain its massive investment. The park's financial woes were compounded by the global COVID-19 pandemic, which forced the temporary closure of amusement parks worldwide. However, even before the pandemic struck, Wonderland Eurasia's fate seemed sealed. In less than a year after its grand opening, Wonderland Eurasia closed its gates, becoming a modern-day relic of unfulfilled promises and shattered dreams. The park's once vibrant facades and towering rides now stand silent and abandoned, a testament to the risks of overambition and poor execution in the world of megaprojects. Echo Atlantic, Nigeria. Our journey takes us to the shores of Lagos, Nigeria, where a city rises from the sea, a megaproject that aimed to redefine urban living, but now grapples with the consequences of its ambitions. Echo Atlantic, the artificial city built on reclaimed land, secures the 6th spot on our list of the world's most useless megaprojects. Conceived as a solution to the overcrowding and congestion of Lagos, Echo Atlantic was an ambitious endeavor to create a new urban center on 10 square kilometers of land reclaimed from the Atlantic Ocean. The project's developers envisioned a gleaming city of skyscrapers, luxury apartments, and high-end amenities, all protected from the encroaching sea by a massive seawall. However, the construction of Echo Atlantic has not been without controversy. Environmentalists have raised concerns about the project's impact on local ecology, arguing that the reclamation process has disrupted the delicate balance of the coastal ecosystem. The construction of the seawall has also been criticized for altering ocean currents and exacerbating erosion along adjacent coastlines. Furthermore, The project has faced scrutiny over its potential impact on human safety. The artificial land upon which Echo Atlantic is built is composed of sand dredged from the ocean floor, raising questions about its long-term stability and resilience in the face of rising sea levels and increasingly severe weather events. Despite these concerns, the developers of Echo Atlantic forged ahead with their vision, touting the project as a transformative force that would attract international investment and cement Lagos's status as a global city. The project's marketing materials painted a picture of a thriving metropolis with world-class infrastructure, green spaces, and a vibrant business district. However, the reality of Echo Atlantic has fallen short of these lofty expectations. Years after its inception, the city remains largely unpopulated, with many of its buildings standing empty, and its streets devoid of the bustling activity promised in the project's promotional materials. The high costs of real estate and the lack of affordable housing options have made Echo Atlantic inaccessible to the vast majority of Lagos residents, further exacerbating the city's already stark economic inequalities. Critics argue that the resources poured into Echo Atlantic could have been better spent addressing the pressing needs of Lagos's existing population, such as improving infrastructure, expanding access to basic services, and creating affordable housing. Instead, the project has become a symbol of misplaced priorities and the dangers of pursuing grandiose visions without considering the needs and well-being of the community. Interstate H3, Hawaii. Interstate H3, a 26-kilometer, 16-mile highway in Hawaii, secures the 5th spot on our list of the world's most useless megaprojects. Conceived in the 1960s as a means to improve military connectivity between the Marine Corps Base Hawaii and the Pearl Harbor Naval Station, Interstate H3 was designed to traverse the lush, mountainous terrain of Oahu. However, the project faced immediate opposition from environmental groups and native Hawaiians, who argued that the highway would cause irreparable damage to sacred land and delicate ecosystems. Despite these concerns, construction of Interstate H3 began in 1989, after decades of legal battles and delays. The project's engineers faced the daunting task of carving a path through the rugged Kulau Mountains, navigating steep slopes, deep valleys, and unstable volcanic soils. The construction process was both technically challenging and enormously expensive, with costs soaring to a staggering $1.3 billion by the time the highway opened in 1997. At $50 million per kilometer, $80 million per mile, Interstate H3 holds the dubious distinction of being the most expensive highway per kilometer in the world. This astronomical cost has led many to question the necessity and value of the project, particularly given the relatively low traffic volumes on the highway. For native Hawaiians, Interstate H3 represents more than just a financial boondoggle. The highway cuts through land considered sacred by many indigenous communities, disrupting ancient burial sites and cultural landmarks. Some native Hawaiians believe that the construction of the highway has brought a curse upon the land, pointing to a series of accidents and incidents that have occurred on or near the road. Today, Interstate H3 is often referred to as a road to nowhere, with critics arguing that it serves little practical purpose beyond its original military function. The highway's scenic vistas and engineering marvels are overshadowed by its exorbitant cost and the environmental and cultural damage wrought by its construction. Ciudad Real Central Airport, Spain. A once ambitious project that aimed to alleviate the congestion of Madrid's bustling air hub secures the 4th spot on our list of the world's most useless megaprojects. Conceived as a solution to the overcrowding at Madrid Barajas Airport, Ciudad Real Central Airport was envisioned as a state-of-the-art facility capable of handling the ever-growing demand for air travel in the region. Located approximately 200 kilometers, 124 miles south of Madrid, the airport boasted an impressive initial capacity of 2 million passengers per year, with plans to expand to accommodate up to 10 million travelers annually. The airport's sleek, modern terminal building and expansive runways seemed poised to usher in a new era of air travel for the region, offering a convenient alternative to the congested skies over the capital. However, the project's planners failed to account for one crucial factor: the airport's remote location. Despite its ambitious capacity targets and cutting-edge facilities, Ciudad Real Central Airport struggled to attract major airlines and passengers. The 200-kilometer distance from Madrid proved to be a significant deterrent for travelers who preferred the convenience of the city's existing airport. The lack of a high-speed rail connection further compounded the airport's accessibility issues, making it an unappealing choice for both airlines and passengers. As a result, Ciudad Real Central Airport found itself grappling with a severe shortage of flights and passengers. The once gleaming terminal building and sprawling tarmac became a ghost town, with empty check-in counters and silent baggage carousels serving as haunting reminders of the project's miscalculations. The airport's financial woes came to a head in 2012, just 3 years after its grand opening. Unable to generate sufficient revenue to cover its operating costs and debt obligations, Ciudad Real Central Airport was forced to declare bankruptcy. The once promising megaproject had become a symbol of economic folly and poor planning. In the years that followed, the airport struggled to find a new purpose. Its remote location and lack of demand rendered it effectively useless for commercial passenger traffic. However, the airport did find a temporary reprieve during the COVID-19 pandemic, when it was repurposed as a storage facility for grounded aircraft. As airlines around the world grappled with the unprecedented drop in air travel, Ciudad Real Central Airport's vast tarmac became a temporary home for dozens of idle planes. The airport's wide-open spaces and low traffic volume made it an ideal location for airlines to park their grounded fleets, offering a glimmer of utility in an otherwise bleak landscape. Yet, even this temporary repurposing could not disguise the airport's fundamental shortcomings. As the world emerges from the pandemic and air travel begins to rebound, Ciudad Real Central Airport remains a cautionary tale of the perils of poor planning and economic miscalculation. Naypyidaw, Myanmar. Naypyidaw, Myanmar's surreal ghost town masquerading as a thriving metropolis, secures the third spot on our list of the world's most useless megaprojects. Rising from the dusty plains of central Myanmar, Naypyidaw emerged as the country's new capital in 2005, the result of a secretive and abrupt decision by the ruling military junta. The city was built from scratch at an estimated cost of $4 billion, a staggering sum for a nation grappling with widespread poverty and underdevelopment. The planners of Naypyidaw envisioned a grand modern city that would showcase the power and prestige of the military regime. The city boasts an array of luxury amenities, including a sprawling golf course, an expansive safari park. At the heart of the city lies a 20-lane highway, a monumental thoroughfare that stands as a testament to the project's sheer scale and ambition. Yet beneath the veneer of grandeur, Naypyidaw tells a different story. Despite its impressive infrastructure and sprawling layout, the city remains sparsely populated, with vast stretches of empty streets and vacant buildings. The wide boulevards and manicured parks are eerily devoid of the bustling activity one would expect from a thriving capital city. The reasons behind Naypyidaw's ghostly atmosphere are complex and multifaceted. The city's remote location, some 320 kilometers, 200 miles, north of the former capital Yangon, has made it difficult to attract residents and businesses. The lack of essential services and economic opportunities has further deterred people from making the move to the new capital. Moreover, the city's design and layout seem ill-suited to the needs and preferences of the local population. The wide, sprawling streets and imposing government buildings create a sense of isolation and disconnection, reinforcing the perception of Naypyidaw as a city built for the elite rather than the everyday citizen. As a result, Naypyidaw has earned the dubious distinction of being a ghost town, a mega-project that has failed to live up to its lofty ambitions. The city's empty streets and vacant buildings stand as a haunting reminder of the perils of top-down planning and the dangers of prioritizing grandiose visions over the needs and aspirations of the people. Forest City, Malaysia. Here, perched on the edge of the glistening Strait of Johor, a daring experiment in urban planning has captured the imagination of investors and sparked heated debate about the future of sustainable living. Forest City, Malaysia, a $100 billion green smart city built upon 4 artificial islands, secures the second spot on our list of the world's most useless megaprojects. Conceived as a futuristic metropolis that would blend cutting-edge technology with eco-friendly design, Forest City was envisioned as a model for sustainable urban development in the 21st century. The project's ambitious master plan called for a sprawling network of green spaces, autonomous transport systems, and energy-efficient buildings, all seamlessly integrated into a high-tech, low-carbon ecosystem. The project's prime location, just a stone's throw from the bustling city-state of Singapore, initially attracted a wave of Chinese investors eager to capitalize on the region's booming property market. The promise of a green, smart city with easy access to Singapore's thriving economy seemed like a surefire bet, and sales of the project's sleek modern apartments quickly took off. However, the tide began to turn as Forest City found itself caught in the crosshairs of a growing backlash against Chinese investment in Malaysia. Concerns over the project's environmental impact and its potential to exacerbate social and economic inequalities fueled a wave of opposition, prompting the Malaysian government to introduce regulatory changes that effectively banned foreign ownership of properties in the development. The impact of these changes was swift and severe. Chinese investors, who had been the driving force behind the project's early success, quickly pulled out, leaving Forest City struggling to find buyers for its thousands of unsold units. The once buzzing construction sites fell silent, and the gleaming towers that had risen from the artificial islands began to take on an eerie, abandoned air. As the project's fortunes continued to decline, it became increasingly clear that Forest City was falling far short of its lofty ambitions. By 2020, fewer than 500 people called the city home, a far cry from the 700,000 residents that the project's developers had envisioned. The green spaces and high-tech amenities that had been the project's selling points sat largely unused, a testament to the challenges of building a city from scratch in the face of shifting political and economic winds. The story of Forest City serves as a stark reminder of the perils of megaprojects that prioritize grandiose visions over careful planning and community engagement. The project's struggle to attract residents and businesses underscores the importance of considering the long-term viability and sustainability of such endeavors, and the need to align them with the needs and aspirations of the communities they seek to serve. Yucca Mountain Nuclear Waste Repository, USA. The Yucca Mountain Nuclear Waste Repository in Nevada, USA, secures the top spot on our list of the world's most useless megaprojects. Proposed in the 1980s as a deep geological repository for the United States' ever-growing stockpile of spent nuclear fuel and high-level radioactive waste, the Yucca Mountain project was envisioned as a permanent solution to the nation's nuclear waste problem. The site, located about 90 miles northwest of Las Vegas, was chosen for its arid climate, stable geology, and remote location, factors that were believed to make it an ideal location for the long-term storage of the dangerous materials. However, the $17 billion project quickly became a lightning rod for controversy, facing fierce opposition from Nevadans who feared the potential environmental and health risks associated with storing nuclear waste in their backyard. Concerns over the site's proximity to fault lines and the potential for groundwater contamination fueled a sustained campaign of resistance, with activists and politicians alike rallying against the project. Despite the mounting opposition, the Yucca Mountain project trudged forward, with the U.S. Department of Energy continuing to pour billions of dollars into the site's development. But in 2010, the Obama administration dealt a major blow to the project, declaring it unworkable and cutting off its funding. The decision effectively mothballed the project, leaving the site's cavernous tunnels and sprawling infrastructure sitting idle in the desert sun. In the years since, the fate of Yucca Mountain has remained uncertain. In 2013, a federal court ordered the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission to resume its review of the project, breathing new life into the controversy. But despite the court order, progress on the project has remained stalled, with little indication that it will move forward anytime soon. Today, the Yucca Mountain Nuclear Waste Repository stands as a monument to the challenges of managing the toxic legacy of our nuclear age. The project's abandoned tunnels and rusting equipment serve as a haunting reminder of the billions of dollars that have been poured into the site, even as the nation's nuclear waste problem continues to grow. The story of Yucca Mountain is a cautionary tale of the perils of pursuing megaprojects without fully considering the long-term risks and uncertainties involved. The project's failure underscores the importance of engaging with local communities in the planning and decision-making process and the need to prioritize the safety and well-being of those who will be most impacted by such endeavors.